Hello. Hi, all Ampers. I'm so excited. Oh, I just came off a really good Google Hangout, which had a lot to do with what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about uh, how you can use virtual assistants to get you to the next level. So we're just going to dive right into it. There's a lot of different things that I want to share with you. I even want to share with you like my project screen on how I train my virtual assistants. And we sort of went over that last session where you guys could see exactly what the steps were with my virtual team and how I got people to go through orientation. My virtual team actually goes through an orientation just like a company, so they know exactly what the expectations are, which is great because I've noticed since I've been working with virtual assistants, is because sometimes, or they fall off, the earth, and I don't hear from them. It's because I don't set that expectation out, right off the bat. I also want them to know that they're supported by me. So I encourage that I may not be their only client. And with that said, I personally want to get the most loyalty from that VA. So what I do is I set them up to succeed in that way. So we're actually going to see a way on how I do that. So we're going to jump into that as well. So let's go ahead and start screen sharing. Let's see here. Well, it'd be great to screen share if I had that open. I think I would. Hold on one sec. Okay, here we go. Let's dive onto the actual AMP membership website. Now, for those of you that are new, a lot of people actually took advantage of the $9 e-course. And the $9 e-course, aside from getting the ebook of Find, Train, Grow, and you can do that on your own time, we're actually going through that process right now on AMP. So we're going to be showing you how to do that. Let me see if I can get that screen back. I think I pushed like the ultra share button or something, or the universal. Woo! Hold on one sec. Technical difficulties are always fun, right on a live thing. Let's see if I can grab that for us again. Oh wow. Okay, so it looked like it completely went away. Let's see if I can. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Come on. I got the little whirly ball thing happening on my end, so bear with me. Okay, here we go. So we're all jumping on the AMP membership website. Now, we're actually in week 3. This is our last one for the month, so we're actually going to sneak in a little bit on what week 4 is all about too. But in terms of the Find, Train, Grow product and what we're learning together, it's all in this month, December. So week 1, week 2, week 3 is the beginning steps of the virtual Find, Train, Grow. So we're on Find right now. We're actually into training the virtual assistant in week 2, and we're actually organizing and systemizing your team, which is great. And by the way, what the ironic thing about all of this is that I write the content and my virtual assistant actually post it, which is crazy. So those of you that are new to the AMP membership website, if you log in, you're going to go ahead and go onto this homepage. This particular video pops up that says AMP Take the Tour, and when you press this, it's actually going to take you all around the website and show you the features and benefits of every single thing. Just to quickly mention, the course sessions is where I store all of the past modules from prior months. So as you can see, we're already starting to put in week 1, week 2 in December. But anytime you want to dive into something different, there's a lot of topics that fit the average entrepreneur or the most fabulous entrepreneur all right here. So you just have to scroll through to see what ideally you want to learn, and how those quickly, each week has a real quick step on how to amplify that particular cause. So I'm just going to let you scroll into that at any time. You can do that. One of the coolest sections in the AMP membership website is the bonus content. And this is where my how to create an infographic lives. It's fabulous. I love it. Super easy. With just these particular systems, I actually made these infographics using Mac Pages to like feature the actual document. So these documents here, by the way, I use the Pages app. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough. Sorry. Oh, goodness. Okay. I think a lot of talking and no liquid is probably the case here. Hold on. Okay, slowly drinking my tea. All right. So here we go. Okay, so yes, this is the tutorial on how to do that. You simply have to click on here, and then the ebook of the infographic stuff is actually going to happen. It's pretty darn sweet. I really like the way it's laid out. I'm thinking of actually making this its own info product, because there's a lot to learn and it keeps on expanding. So watch this space here. It's always going to be updated for sure. And last update was last year. I'm already in 2015, guys. It's like this year, July 2014. There's certainly some more that I have to add into. So, you know, keep this space open and keep looking at it. Community, it's going to direct you to Facebook. Support is going to auto-populate an email for my team. So if you need any help, just go ahead and push the support button. We will be there for you. The AMP Backstage Pass area is going to link you to the iTunes podcast that I got going on. The live group AMP sessions, this will actually indicate when our next one is. I have yet to fill this out for 2015, so bear with me on that. One-on-one session is a free strategy session with me anytime you like, and I donate a lot of my time to this. So if you've done it before, do it again. Like, if there's space and you want to talk to me every month, please don't feel like, oh gosh, I don't want to like impede in Francesca's time. Like, this is time that I'm devoting to this cause, devoting to this website, because I really want to help you get to the next level. So if you've had one in the beginning, because a lot of the beginners will go ahead and sign up for the one-on-one session, and then a couple months go by and I don't hear from them. If you're on this list, if you're watching this and you're a member, please make these regular. I'd love to talk to you and see what's going on with you. I don't pass judgment. I just want to get you to that next space. Sometimes when you do your first run at something and it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that there's more time for an experimentation phase, and you just got to go at it again. Remember, you are in development. Your product, your business, everything is always in development until you get to the end game. And the truth is, in a lot of businesses, we never get to the end game. We're not a movie that we put out and then walk away from. If it's an existing product, if it's an ongoing business, there's no end game there, other than, of course, you know, annually and each month sales cycle. It's a real dream situation. You got a lot of money going on. Great. But the experimentation and the business and the landscape always changes. So know that you can use the one-on-one session to really bounce off those ideas and go with it. Q&A replays is will take you to a library of what the past Google AMP sessions have been. So Google Hangout AMP sessions have been recorded so far, and you can always come back into this space and look at it at any time. So with that said, let's go ahead and review week 3. Week 3 is organizing and systemizing your VA team. So your virtual team, they need to learn how to do things. I mean, everything. Like, this is something that I gave you an example of in the beginning. It's like, you want to be able to have a shared document. I love Google Drive for that. And you can share documents with your team. So you could actually put in a system in a document that maybe your head virtual assistant will actually tweak and create for you. My head VA assistant, who's also like the project manager of my stuff, grabs all this information and she categorizes it for me. Here's an example of what are the things that you can use, or some of the things that you would train people on. You could train people or a virtual assistant on a Pinterest post. You can train them on how to post your Twitter on your Twitter account. That might be different from posting on Hootsuite. Maybe you want to post a infographic on Twitter. And the best way to do that is to actually manually post that. So you can teach somebody how to do that. Facebook ads and posts, you may want to be able to delegate this for a virtual assistant, but how do you want it to be done? You can use this space to actually systemize that. Infographics for social media posts. Yes, definitely. I think that this is, this is a thing that we should really look into a lot. That's the space where, you know, we spend a lot of time as entrepreneurs. We want to make sure that things are done perfect. But what if you let go of doing something like that and give it to a virtual assistant? All of a sudden, you just freed up 5 to 10 hours that week to do something more creative, or actually strategize like the CEO or the business owner that you are to go to the next level. LinkedIn content. It's so important. This is something that you can actually infuse in your Hootsuite and actually, you know, post at the same time. But is there something in particular that maybe you would, or LinkedIn content might be a little different from your social media content? You can actually think of that as part of your strategy. And how would you teach that? You can definitely put that on a Google document. And blog articles. This is where I need the most help, because my head is always creating. I always have titles in my head or topics that I want to talk about. I literally have I would say it's not an editorial calendar, but it's an idea form that I have, and I just literally punch out all of these cool titles that I'm thinking of for blogs, and from that point, you know, is the development, you know, we did the conception, now the development of that article. Maybe I need research for that article. I can ask my virtual assistant to do that. Once it's written, I might have another virtual assistant look at it and edit it for me. I may grab some images that I think will reflect that article, and then I need somebody to load it up. I need somebody to promote it on Twitter, and I also need somebody to send an email out from MailChimp to let everybody know that this email just came out. There are several steps in there that I missed, because every task that I just listed, including like the MailChimp task, there's a lot of subcategories in there. Like, they also need to grab the, you know, the info or the images from Dropbox. They need to put it here. They need to, you know, create the link. You know, all of these different things. Did they create a Bitly link for my article? Like, all of that stuff is going to be isolated and put in there. I mean, wow, what a mouthful. And we didn't even get, I haven't even opened this document yet. So, you know, create these one at a time with your new hire for sure. Once you do that, you don't even have to do it again. It is the type of investment in time that you need for sure. Don't get lost, you know, the hours in trying to create all of these at once. It's crazy pants if you do it. Do it one at a time. I'm still creating systems for my virtual assistants as they come. So for instance, if I have a new plan or a new stream of to-do items that I want a virtual assistant to do, then I will, you know, create that as that happens. So Don't feel pressure to do all of that at one time. Your first assistant is most likely going to be your team leader. It's just the easy way to do it. She or he is going to be the most trained, for sure. And with that said, that's where you want to put your staff development in. That's when you want to put the hours in to really train that person. Start with basic tasks and go from there. Small bites, definitely. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over to the actual AMP sheet here, or this is like the modules that you get when you hit. So this is, now just a real quick background, since we're talking about infographics. I create all my PDFs using the Pages app on a Mac. So my MacBook Air is housing this app. All Macs do. You can even do a Pages app on, oh gosh, why can't an iPad. There we go. So you can do this. It's really cool. They're just so clean and polished, and I love it. And I use that for all of my my PDFs. Even when I pitch a new client, I'm using my Pages app for sure. So I can't tell you how much I love it. So here you go. So this series is about training and organizing your team. Getting organized is a part of a good trainer for app for sure. What you do now will set the template on how you train your team from this day forward. It's true, it sets a tone for sure. This template would help your team train your new freelancers as they sign on to your project. It's fairly simple, and you'll be surprised on how easy it is to just get organized. This is the yummy part, this sweet solution to all incoming staff members, and affirm existing document on accountability. It's true, if you have all of your systems in line in that document, the accountability is now placed on that VA. Once I widened my eyes and committed to a big picture focus in my business, this method was the catalyst for me going to the next level. That is absolutely no lie. I can't even tell you, once I just let go of being a control freak and wanting to do everything, including loading Hootsuite. And some of you know me from not that long ago, a year or two ago, and you would hear me talk about coaching you on how to go to a cafe, you know, write your article, and then take an hour to put it in Hootsuite. And once I started really teaching how you can use a virtual assistant, I thought, wow, that was so silly. I was coaching people to do it. That is not in the pleasure zone. So when I'm working with and mentoring other entrepreneurs, we always talk about what's in your pleasure zone. If you hate doing something and you can task it out, the smart thing to do is task it out to your virtual assistant. Don't even try to do something you don't like. If it's daily operational stuff, try to get it out of your hands and into your VA. Not only are you God, it's like almost like you're feng shuiing your business. You're letting go of something so you can actually let money and let good business come in. Think of it that way. I mean, it really is like opening yourself up to the greater good. Now, we talked about Google Drive, and in this video here, you can see how you can set up the Google Drive document. So I actually show you how to do that. You can systemize your task and everyday task. In this video, there is an example of setting up a document that you can work and share with your virtual assistant team, or you can keep a client accountable. This is so cool. Once you start doing this, you start feeling, oh my gosh, I should have been doing this with my clients. Like there's like no like gray area. We have timestamps here. We lay out exactly what I need from them. And if they don't deliver something, then how am I going to deliver on a project? I mean, that's like a little subcategory here, but it's the same exact effect with a virtual assistant. If you don't lay it out for them in plain English, A to Z, what they need to do, how are they going to transfer that information that you want in a timely manner if they get stuck? And I will tell you, a lot of times virtual assistants really want to be reliable. In the female demographic, we want to be gosh, I think because I work with a lot of females that are in my staff, and I know I wanted this as well. For females, we want that, you know, we want to have positive feedback at all times. And if we fail to come up with a deliverable, we don't want to talk about it, or we don't even want to ask questions because we don't want it to be one of those stupid questions. In my team, I encourage all questions, including the ones that you think that are stupid. And I say that out loud to a lot of the team members. So a lot of this is about the psychology of dealing with somebody. Also, it is so important to praise that virtual assistant and let them know how well they're doing. Even if it's something they're learning at the first time, I tell them there are rules for learning something. If I have a virtual assistant that is learning Hootsuite for the first time and loading something up, I tell them they are not allowed to be ashamed, be upset at themselves, be angry at themselves, because they need to have that sort of environment where they invite, you know, the learning process. And when you're learning, you need to be very kind to yourself. And with that said, I encourage the bad questions and whatever they think it is bad, because I want it to be a really open, caring, supportive relationship that I have with my virtual assistant. So if they know, like, and trust me a little bit more, we're going to have a great synergistic sort of energy working together. And that's really important. Know that you're dealing with human beings at the end, for sure. And that's actually going to help you immensely when you're doing all of this. Now, outlining tasks. Think of your daily or weekly tasks you need, but can train someone else to do. Let's just take a moment here with this idea. This is my favorite part of the course. My weekly Hootsuite task takes about 1 hour per week. It depends on how many campaigns, to be quite frank. It takes a minimum of 1 hour. That's on a light week. Think of what you bill out here as a freelancer versus a talented VA for $3 or $4 an hour. That's so true. So if you bill out yourself for a minimum of $100 an hour, and then you assign that to an assistant that is taking on that project for $3 to $4 an hour, and you saved an hour, you're saving tremendous amount of money that you can be using on your own business while you're creating something, you know, that your virtual assistant is now taking on board. And you don't even have to have your hands on it. Amazing, an amazing thought. I mean, it's mind-blowing when you start doing this. It's like, wow, I'm saving all this time. I could be doing stuff, or I could just be chilling and hanging out in the backyard with my kid. Like, you know, think of the value system here. What would you like to do? Not to mention you're actually enhancing and lovingly paying somebody that's in a third world country that could totally use that $3 an hour. Now think on how the time could be used. Look at, I love it. It's actually matching my thought. Now think of that time, how you could use it, even if you took a power nap. I love it. It's totally worth it. You will be more refreshed and shift into what role you really should be, which is, yeah, you guessed it, it's a CEO of your company. What a shift. Task out all that you can and know your business. Like, okay, so let's just say you have an e-commerce business and you have a jewelry company, or you have an art company and you're selling prints online. Each week on Monday after the weekend, you're probably processing those orders. How are you batching those orders? Can you use that and have a virtual assistant do it for you? So think about all of the things that you can do. How can you task those out? List them all up on the next page, and I think I put a little music in there for you to listen to. And here you can actually print out this page and you can just write it all down. What is your virtual assistant? What they can do for you, and I call it the freedom list because it is so freeing. Once you let go of everything, you will find that it's easier than you think. And I'm still getting this sort of lesson daily, and we'll go into it a little bit more. But it was just I recently did a blog where I had a client that couldn't log into one of my I think it was AMP membership websites, and I had Rochelle, I just really one sentence, like, can you please help her make sure that the password's correct? And my VA went on there and she looked at it and she, you know, had a great conversation with my client, something that I was proud of, and I'm like, oh my God, I love her. So think about things like that. Can they help you with client support? Can they help schedule a client, you know, a one-on-one time with you? What can they do for you? List it all out. And we talked a little bit before about this particular product or this particular segment that was on that page, the hustle, I'm sorry, the AMP page. I'm talking a little fast here. We talked about it here before we clicked on. So there we go. And that's great. So you are doing really well in this. It doesn't take that long. Or, you know, the thing about, especially for me in learning, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm losing my voice here. So I'll just kind of slow it down. One of the great things about, let's see, here we go. Let me see if I can get this going. I want to exit this. Okay. So one of the great things that I think that we can all learn from when we're doing something like this, other than just obviously letting go of some of the tasks and having them do this, is that your expansion on what you want to do, just your creativity actually explodes when you're not in the doing of things. Like if you're doing all of these things in a row and you're focused on getting all this stuff done, then how are you actually going to get yourself for the fun part, which is like the creative stuff, which I do. I love creating. I'm a creator. I love creating different products, different modules, different things to help you and your business. That's where I'm the happiest. And especially when I find out that a method is helping some of my clients, then I want to write about it and I want to share it with you so you guys can get on board and do something like that as well, especially in the digital PR space. So I want to do that experimentation stuff. My virtual team, which is about 7 people now, which is a modest number with a business. I'm just going to list out with you what they actually do, which is amazing. I have a tech team. The tech team helps me with SEO. They help me with my website. I actually design on my website the aesthetic part, but I have somebody that implements the design for me, which is amazing. I have somebody that helps maintain my wish list membership websites accounts. I have that going on. I have somebody checking out my server, making sure that my security passwords are changed each month. I mean, I could go on and on with my tech team. And on the other side, excuse me, sorry. Talking too much, not drinking. The other side, my social media team, that is just, so expansive, and they do so much for me. I'll just try to give you the headers here. They do all of my social media accounts. What I mean by that is they maintain them. They make sure passwords are changed. They make sure that content is always there. DMs are answered. I mean, just so many things there. Content loaded in Hootsuite. MailChimp is completely thriving. You know, there's a lot of new sign-up people that I like to talk to, and that newsletter was created for that. So there's like all these like things that are happening, not to mention my podcast show that I have and new clients that I acquire. Like that's a whole different thing. So I have to manage all my new clients and run my business. Because one thing that I learned since having my business in 2010 was that, and this is so typical, and also maybe a little bit of a tall poppy syndrome, or not wanting to be a tall poppy or being proud, is that I would rather promote my client than promote me. And 2011, about 2011, I realized that was not the way to go. Like I needed to stop with that nonsense, and I needed to promote myself so I can connect with somebody like you. Most likely we found each other on Twitter. That's my lead. That's the thing that gets me a lot of my new clients are people that check me out on Twitter. Then they'll check me out on LinkedIn. And then maybe they'll actually like my page on Facebook. Facebook, I could, I'm not putting a lot of effort into that. But I also get a lot of female potential clients that also look at me in Pinterest. So those three things. Now, if you imagine they all clicked on each one and they're all following me on those three sites. And if I'm always in their like field of vision of what I promote and what I do and all of that, what's going to most likely happen is they're going to sign up for this type of program, or they're just going to reach out to me and say, how can I be a client? And that's what it's all about. I am free to do more of that and creating awesome content to get people like you in my world. And I let all the other stuff go to my virtual assistants. It's just, once you do that, and you can give me any sort of challenge in terms of what type of entrepreneur would benefit from using a virtual assistant. Listen, a lot of entrepreneurs still have day jobs, okay? We still, and definitely for me in 2009, I was in a corporate position. I was starting the idea of my business, but I was doing it on the DL. Like I was doing it on download with my little earplugs in my cubicle, listening to like other entrepreneurs starting their business and writing things down and doing all of that. Now, had I known what I know now with virtual assistants, I would know like I could have them like do my blog for me, not creating the content. I do that, but they would, post it. They would send it out to my, and develop my newsletter list. And then they would post it out on Hootsuite, and they would get all these people to look at it. And they could do that for 5 hours or even 20 hours or 10 hours. And, it might cost me, what, $3 times, 20 is $30 a week. Like, who can't afford that, right? Like, if I was sitting in a cubicle wanting to promote who I am for my next big thing, for my next, jumping out and doing my PR consultation stuff that I started in the beginning with, and then I blew up into my own digital boutique company, and I did that while I was sitting behind a desk doing marketing from some other company that didn't even care about me. Mind-blowing. So think about what you could be doing now if you were to use that resource. And the cool thing is that virtual assistants really stand behind you. Like, they really take on your cause and they feel it. So the more that you connect with them, the more they're going to actually work really hard for you. And they're going to get those things wrong in the beginning. Boy, when they get it right, it's like sailing very easy. Like, this easy sailing is what I'm trying to say. And that's where the gold is, for sure. So the one other thing I wanted to do before we stop, and let me sign on here. This takes a little bit of time, I think, for signing on for some reason. But I want to take you into one of the free tools that you can use to show and really train and assign some of your tasks. Actually, all of my tasks, I use Asana. So if you don't have Asana yet, that's the time. This is the time to do it for sure. So let me just go in and do a little screen share. I'm going to jump on that. And I'm just going to take you behind it. I also want to show you that video where I have my virtual assistants be accountable for oh goodness, hold on one sec. I think I understand the problem, what I was doing. It's in the same page. I'm still learning Google Hangout and what I need to do not to get that crazy infinity screen going on again. Okay. Let's screen share. So one of the things that is an issue with a lot of assistants is that they don't necessarily understand what happens to your company if they just fall off the face of the earth. So that's why staff development is very important. And as you can see, as I'm scrolling down, you will see like this is a tech training. They have like a 7-step tech or orientation for them. And I think we have 5 for social media. And I show them a video on what they need to do with, each work week when they start, or, what's the staff expectation. Let's see if I have this video. Okay. I'm going to see if I can, I thought the video was here. Ah, that would have been so sweet if it was. Let's see. Each week perform task. No, that's not it. Follow up on training. So also too, guys, Asana has some really great training videos. All you have to do is go into asana.com. When you sign up, you'll be able to actually see all of that too. Queue task. Okay, so while I'm in this, let me see if I can. Okay, so let me stop the screen sharing. I'm going to find that because I want you to see what I'm going to. What do I show? A lot of the. Sorry. Okay, here we go. So YouTube, laughing because I'm getting so slow at all of this right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video that I show to all my staff members. In fact, we made this my little company policy. And with that said, you know, everybody had to sign off in learning this. Okay, let's see, learning this method. And I want to share this with you because I think that everybody needs to do something like this with their team. Just show them exactly what the expectations are and checking in each week and why it's important. I also wanted to support them and let them know that, yeah, you know, you might have new other clients to manage, which is great. I want to, you know, support you on that. But this is what we need. There we go. It looks like I got it. This is what we need from you to help push my project along. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over. I found it finally. Okay, here we go. I wanted to talk to you guys about our new policy about availability. So availability is something that I ask you to do each Monday. And what we do is we just check in to see what your availability is for the week, how many hours you can work, or, you know, if you're available Monday through Friday, but not weekends. You know, just basically letting the group know in your team what your availability is. That way I can project manage what can be done and I can prioritize, if you're out, what I can assign to somebody else. Just making sure that everybody has a good job, work week flow experience is essentially why I do it. Okay, so let's go over a couple of things here. So you can fill out the Monday check-in on Monday or Sunday. I say Sunday because this program was originally done in the States, where they're a day behind. And now that I'm in New Zealand, I'm a day ahead from being in the States, and you most likely are too if you're watching this. So you can fill this out on Monday or Sunday and fill out what your availability is. Now, the other thing is, don't worry if you don't feel well and you're not sure what your work week is. Just go ahead and say, you know, if you think you're going to work Monday through Friday, that's okay, and put that out. We're going to talk about what happens if you're not feeling well enough to complete the work week, okay? So just give me a guesstimate on what hours or what days you're going to be working on. And the other thing is, it's just sharing, not a commitment. When you put in your actual time that you're going to be working, it's just sharing on what you think your work week is going to look like, because things happen, life happens. So what if something does come up? What if you have a project due with somebody else? I understand you're a freelancer, and sometimes your job, you know, you're juggling more jobs than I know of. And quite frankly, that's awesome. I think that you should have some, you know, great working relationships on Odesk or even outside of Odesk. So maybe you have a project due and you can't commit with me on the schedule that you promised or said. No, let me take that back. I don't think it's a promise. I think when you guys write your schedule, it's what you think you're going to be able to work at that moment. But if there is a project due from another client, that changes things in terms of your availability. What if your child needs you? Now that happens a lot. If you have a little one, and they need your full attention, well, of course you can't work on your project. So that's one of the things that stops you from working, obviously. What if you become sick and you really can't commit to it? Now, I've done this a lot. I personally say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and, nothing's going to change. I'm going to work Monday through Friday. But then, like, you're really sick, you can't get out of bed, and you can't even focus on the computer. That happens, and I want to acknowledge that. What if you just don't have time? For some reason, the time in your week is just so bogged down, it's hard to work on this project. And what if you just need to disconnect and have a self-care day? What do you do? Do you need an excuse? No. I respect your privacy. I don't need to know why you're taking time off. Those were examples in the previous screen on why we were not able to complete a task with, my project. I completely understand those reasons come up, but I also respect your privacy. You don't have to tell me why you're taking time off, or if, say it's, midweek or Tuesday, and you're like, yeah, I can't work this week for Francesca's project. That's fair enough. We're going to talk about when that happens, what to do. You don't need to feel guilty if in the middle of the week you're like, oh, I can't work the rest of the week, or something came up that I have to bring attention to. All of those things are valid, and we're going to talk about that in a second. I want you to know that I support you, and I think I left a word out. I need to know what is going on with you if you're unable to actually fully work that week. So what I need you to do, and I didn't put this down on the previous one, but if you can check in with me via email, just let me know, like, hey, Francesca, I'm not going to be able to work till, next midweek. You don't have to give me why. I don't need to know why. I just need to know when you're going to be back on, so I can manage my expectation and assign some of your jobs to other people in the team. Or if I can't do that, then I'll have to postpone the project. Now, things happen. Life happens. It's totally okay, and I want you to know that I support you and I respect you. So that's why I thought maybe just voicing it out loud and showing it, in this little tiny presentation would help you guys realize that there's no need to tell me why you have to take off. I totally think it's great that we're freelancers and we can do anything in our own timetable. If you could just please return the favor and let me know when you're taking time off, or that you're not going to complete the work week and that you'll see me, mid next week, or hey, Francesca, I won't be able to come back to work till December 1st. Something like that would be awesome. That way I can manage what I need to do and my business doesn't stall out waiting for the project to be picked up or be completed by yourself. Okay, so that is it. This is a short video. I just want to thank you for all your hard work, and please, let's keep the lines of communications open. So if something happens in life, which it does, just let me know. Thanks, guys, and I hope to talk to you later. Yay! Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just hear my voice. But anyway, so it gives you an idea just to convey that message out. Is really important. You have to do that to get that assistant to be behind you in your cause. And it can be tedious. I know that week I was like over it. I had like 2 or 3 call outs. I think some of them sort of called out, and some of them didn't even acknowledge that they called out, and I went like, all right, I can't do this. And previously, before, I have to tell you, I just let people go. Like, they would call out and not talk to me, so I'm just, all right, you don't have that kind of common courtesy, I'm just gonna let you go. And the bad thing about that is not only was I spending a lot of time and effort in training somebody else, I wasn't acknowledging the problem. And the problem with a VA that doesn't call in is that they're not feeling supported, whether I'm not giving them enough hours, which means money. I'm not giving them enough money. I'm not using them regularly. So if I'm not using them regularly, how are they going to plan or help other if they're freelancers, how are they going to help do their other jobs if I don't even give them anything steady? So with all of these different things, and there's plenty of other circumstances that help the framework or the mindset of a virtual assistant to fall off the face of the earth and not be available to me. So I took ownership of that and I made that video. And what happened after is that I got detailed emails on when I'm going to be back, or this is what's going on with me and my family. You know, a lot of my virtual assistants are in the Philippines and they just had a hurricane. Like immediately I sent out this email to my team and said, listen, if you're near the hurricane, don't worry about me. Like, just make sure you're okay. And just by voicing that, whether they were in the area or not, doesn't even matter. I just want them to know that they're being supported. Whatever I can do, I want to support that. Now, I personally made a very conscious movement in wanting to connect with third world VAs, because I feel like that's the space and place where I feel like I was called to train other people. Because eventually my dream is that these people, these wonderful virtual smart assistants, and they're really strong with that, but can help support other entrepreneurs, or if they have an entrepreneurial streak themselves, they can take what they learned from me and they can run on with it and they can have a successful business. A lot of these entrepreneurs are starting their own agencies, whether it's a lot of these virtual assistants are starting their own agencies in tech, mostly with web development. And I wanted to do this with women in third world to have social media agencies of their own. And I want to inspire somebody to go to the next level. So I'm teaching them everything I know on purpose. So not only are they amazing virtual assistants, as long as they want, I mean, I'm happy to have them forever. But if they want to go ahead and move on, they have the training that will take them there. And that, without me, I'm a little emotional about that. But I had to, there are times where you have to let good people go. And I had a virtual assistant that was amazing at what she was doing, but she couldn't give the time. She had too many things going on in her life. So I had to let her go, and I gave her a stellar review. And I told her, when you have time to join the project, let me know, because I think you're amazing. My letting go of her, one of the tick boxes that you have to tick off is like, why'd you let them go? And I said, oh, the project was done, which was not the case. But setting up that virtual assistant to transfer in, and she now has skills for social media and Hootsuite and some minor marketing that she can take on to her next job. And that's what it's all about for me. It's about making that impact. It's about doing something. I'm always about that. It doesn't matter, even if you're a client of mine, I'm want to be your biggest cheerleader and get you to that next level. It's the same thing with my AMP members. Like, I'm here to make an impact. I'm here to do something great. And whether it's with a client or VA, it's all about that. So I feel like if you just lead with that intention, you're going to get bigger and better. It just happens. And I'm very grateful for that, for sure. So with that said, I am going to end this Google Hangouts, and I will see you next year. Thank you so much. I'm going to wait from you from Auckland, New Zealand, and we will continue this conversation well into the new year and see what we can do. Next week in particular, we're going to be talking about manifesting your new business, which is this guy I just created. And you're going to be getting this next week. And basically, it's going to show you how to, from the beginning of your business to the end, how is your 2015 going to look? How in your craziest, wildest dreams is it going to look for you? And let's play with that idea. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Let's just play with the idea of what it feels like and how is it going to look. we'll take everything else in step by step. And 2015 for AMP members is going to be flipping amazing. I'm going to be launching things that are so great. It really is going to be the mentorship empowerment website that I want it to be. It's really awesome in 2014. I couldn't be happier with it. I feel like it's expanding and being bigger. So the value of the money is ridiculous, which I'm very happy to say, because some of us need to just do that $37 a month and not spend $700 plus a month for a mentor. We need to do it together. We're on the same team. Let's make 2015 amazing. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of the AMP membership. I'll talk to you guys later.